Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Today, we are joined by community leaders, business leaders, and elected officials to speak out against the horrific incident that happened in Atlanta, Georgia, but also the growing trend of anti-Asian violence that continues to happen nationwide. It's unfortunate and sad that this has become so normalized in our community, the bigotry and the racism that continues to happen. We are all here today because as community leaders, as elected officials, as business leaders, we need to stand together strongly and speak out and fight against what is happening with us today. As an API daughter of refugee parents, we came here escaping war, escaping violence in our country. The folks that are standing behind me here all came from different islands, different parts of the world, escaping violence in their country. We today call Sacramento home, and home is where we need to feel safe. The incident that took place in Atlanta has shaken our entire community. Today I get to lead an organization, Asian Resources. Can you imagine the fear that I felt coming in the next day to work? The fear that my staff and team members probably had. But we are not going to let fear win this. We are going to make sure that we fight this every step of the way. And today we are asking that we increase public safety awareness here in our community, but also have law enforcement that will reflect our community, because only that will they understand what our API community go through and our cultural barriers. We're asking that there be cultural linguistic resources and a reporting platform where our community can feel safe to report these such incidents. Because as a daughter of refugees, I was always taught to keep your head down, to not speak out, and to go with the flow. Today that ends. Today I am pledging and I'm asking all of you to go back to your friends and your family to pledge to these three things. See something, say something, do something. Because unless we all come together as a community, as one, and we do something, say something when we see something, this will never end.
Thank you and good morning. My name is Cassandra Jennings and I'm President and CEO of the Greater Sacramento Urban League. My prayers go out to the families of the Asian women and also the men who were shot and killed in Atlanta. My heart is heavy. Those persons went to work, they went to a place of business and never got to go home at the end of the day. They didn't get to see their families. They didn't get to hug their loved ones one more time.
Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you, Stephanie at Asian Resources. My name is Willie Recht. I'm the CEO of the Jewish Federation, and I stand with you today in support of our API brothers and sisters on behalf of the Jewish Federation, the Jewish Community Relations Council, and the greater Sacramento Jewish community, who are both heartbroken and horrified by the recent wave of violence and hate targeting the API community, including the horrific murders that took place in Atlanta on Tuesday.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. My name is Usama Kamel. I'm the Community Organizing and Engagement Manager with CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, Sacramento Valley, and Central California. I want to extend my condolences to the families, the communities, and the loved ones of the 8 people murdered Tuesday. And I pray that their spirits find peace and comfort and care in the mercy and light and love of the Most Divine. I pray their families and loved ones find courage, find comfort, and find healing. An act this senseless, this hateful, and this abhorrent cannot be understood or rationalized. And I pray that our gathering together and our showing up for one another will help the families come a step closer to healing.
California Democrats are fighting to protect our API communities. Governor Newsom recently allocated over $1.4 million to fight against the increased attacks of hate against Asian Americans. As a former law enforcement officer, I investigated numerous hate crimes, including the tragic fire bombings of our synagogues here in Sacramento, and the perpetrators later murdered a gay couple in Northern California. Acts of hate have always existed, but they cannot be tolerated, and we will stand here today as a show of force. These senseless attacks underscore the need to expedite and pass a bill, AB 266, what I introduced late last year. AB 266 will address the most serious forms of hate crimes, like beating someone to the point they sustain great bodily injury, or burning down a synagogue or place of worship. These are not the majority of the acts of hate we are seeing today. They're the most violent. But incredibly, if someone does beat someone to a point of hospitalization because of their race or burn down a synagogue, it is considered a non-violent crime in California. So listen to this. A violent hate crime in California, present day right now, is considered a non-violent crime here in California as I stand here.
I'm Dr. Richard Pan. I'm the state senator, actually representing this area, as well as much of the Sacramento region. And I want to, first of all, thank Stephanie and Asian Resources for putting together this event. And I, again, want to thank everyone who's here standing in solidarity with the Asian Pacific Islander community. As Senator McCarty mentioned, I also chair the Asian Pacific Islander Legislative Caucus. And in fact, I apologize for being late. In the state Senate, we were actually debating Senate Resolution 12 to condemn hate against the Asian Pacific Islander community. And I'm proud to say that we essentially had a unanimous vote, 36. We had 4 people were absent at the time of the vote. So, but essentially everyone who was present voted for that resolution. And I appreciate, again, my colleagues in the state Senate standing in solidarity.
Good morning. I want to thank Stephanie Nguyen and Asian Resources for bringing us together here today. I am always proud of Sacramento in our worst moments because we stand for and with each other always, and it's reflected behind me here today. What happened in Atlanta is sickening and despicable. It needs to be called out for what it is: a crime of hate, a crime of racism, a crime of misogyny.
Good morning, I'm Daniel Hahn, police chief in your city's police department. So the Sacramento Police Department takes hate crimes extremely serious. Hate crime is not only a crime against the intended victim, but as history has shown us, people who commit hate crimes or bias-related incidents really intend to cause fear in a whole community or a specific segment of our community. There's a reluctance to report these crimes, especially hate crimes, due to many different reasons. We really encourage people to call the police immediately if they suspect any hate or bias-related incidents, and let us, our officers, look into it.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ed Yee, and I'm speaking today in the dual role. First, as the incoming commander of the Sacramento County Sheriff's Central Patrol Division, I share in everyone's concern with the increase in violence across the country and in our Asian communities. I completely understand how these instances have cast a shadow of fear and concern within our own local Asian community. The Sheriff's Department is committed to working with our community-based partners in our community and hearing their concerns and committing the resources that are necessary that we can properly allay and reduce their fears.